Congressman Peter DeFazio is with us. Boy, it's been a while since we've talked with him. U.S. Congressman Peter DeFazio representing the 4th District of Oregon and my old stomping grounds and home state for 5 years. Congressman DeFazio, and his website, of course, defazio.house.gov. Congressman, welcome back.
Tom, yeah, I don't know what's been going on. Why? I mean, of course, since we don't do anything in Washington anymore, you probably don't have much to talk to me.
Well, anytime you got a news hook, let us know. I love talking with you.
All right.
And speaking of a news hook, apparently you and Bernie Sanders over in the Senate have introduced legislation to save Social Security. Do I have that right? Keep it away from the Wall Street hustlers?
Absolutely. I mean, we fear that there's this sort of, there's definitely a push going on to chain the CPI on Social Security. And if you look at the impact over a relatively short period of time, it would hit hardest at older seniors over time. And, a lot of people outlive their savings, and for the next generation of seniors, there aren't going to be very many pensions. And you become more and more dependent upon Social Security as you age, and the worst thing you can think of is, let's lower their promised benefit in the future by using this phony economic assumption about qualitative substitution. Mm-hmm. So if people are trying to fix Social Security, that doesn't do it. It gives it 1 or 2 more years at the most before it would be theoretically not insolvent, but incapable of paying the benefits it promised, down to about 75%. So if you want to solve the problem, simple. Just do away with the tax loophole that allows wealthy people to pay a tiny fraction of their income in Social Security taxes. So we introduced our bill last week. We've introduced it before, and it would give 75-year solvency to Social Security.
Which means forever, functionally.
Well,
they only go out 75 years.
Much beyond 75 years because, that's sort of a normal lifespan. They don't know how many people will be here, what will happen, so
sure,
you can't predict too far beyond that.
Yeah. So, Congressman DeFazio, why is it that, people who make up to $113,000, 100% of their income gets hit with the Social Security tax, even if they're working at Walmart and only making a couple $1,000s a year, working part-time, sharpening chainsaws or something, their income is 100% of their income is subject to Social Security tax. But if somebody, Mitt Romney makes $20 million a year, and of the first million, he's that might be called income. He's paying Social Security taxes on the first $113,000, and then after that, out of that $20 million, on $19,897,000, he doesn't pay a damn penny in Social Security tax. And in fact, on all of his capital gains income, him and Paris Hilton and all these other people who make their living sitting on their butts around the pool waiting for the dividend check to arrive, they don't pay a penny in Social Security tax. How'd they get that sweet deal?
Accident of history. I mean, the original earnings cap was put in place when Social Security was enacted. It was adjusted from time to time by Congress, and then in 1977, when Social Security was having some big problems because of the high inflation and that, it was put on an automatic escalator on an annual basis, and it creeps up a little bit every year. But it's just an accident of history that we didn't assess the Social Security tax at a much smaller rate across a larger span of incomes, and
right.
That's the.
Well, it seems to me like this isn't even, I've had Steve Forbes on this program a bunch of times, and he comes on and he goes, we got to have a flat tax. Have the guy who's driving a bus pay the same as the billionaire. Flat tax.
You got it. There was a guy named Archer who chaired Ways and Means last time the Republicans were in charge, and he was holding a hearing on tax possibility on Social Security. And I went there and I said, well, Mr. Chairman, you got to love my idea. I said, because you're for a flat tax, right? And he said, yeah. I said, okay, well, Mr. Chairman, here's an idea. Let's have a flat tax to pay for Social Security. And he kind of scratched his head. He's a little puzzled, and then he figured it out. He's like, oh, no. I said, well, I thought you were for flat tax, but no, I guess not.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, exactly. They don't want the rich people to pay the flat tax. They just want everybody, working people, anybody making under $113,000.
Right. We just don't want to see Social Security as part of some big game, grand plan, whatever you call it, big deal, hoo-ha. if your concern is that Social Security as an intergenerational program will be there to pay promised benefits for the next 75 years, our plan's the way to get there.
Right. And Social Security, we should add, a third of Social Security payments are not going to retired people. They're going to people like my friend Michael Hutchison, who broke his neck in his 30s, I think, and is quadriplegic.
You've got disability. You've got minor children of deceased or disabled workers. You've got dependent spouses.
Right.
There's a large number of other people who are collecting.
Literally
fact,
widows.
Paul Ryan got education benefits because his parents died young.
Yeah, literally widows, orphans, and disabled people, and that's so this. You talk about Social Security. We're not just talking about a program that affects people over 65. Fully a third, and that's a lot of money and a lot of people. Millions and millions of people are affected by Social Security who are in their teens and their 20s and their 30s and their 40s and they've all got a dog in this game. I'm curious. You remember the House Progressive Caucus? The Progressive Caucus put forward the Balancing Act, a budget that would have balanced the budget in 10 years and done so in a fairly straightforward way. What's the fate of that right now?
Well, we haven't. We're going to see the Ryan budget tomorrow, I believe, and then the Budget Committee will start marking up soon thereafter. We often try and offer alternatives from the Democratic side, the progressive version of the budget. Blue Dogs used to offer a budget. I don't know if there's enough of them left to put together a budget anymore. With that, we're about to engage in that debate. First, the opening salvos tomorrow when we see how egregious Ryan's plan is. I mean, he's promising that he's going to balance the budget in 10 years with no new revenues. Now, let's think about it. There's a projected over $10 trillion deficit over the next 10 years. That would mean basically $1 trillion a year in cuts, which would mean eliminate the Pentagon and half of the general fund government, eliminate all general fund government and half the Pentagon, or is he going to target Social Security and Medicare and things like that? I mean, to get to that phenomenal number, he's going to have to do some serious damage.
Well, Social Security and Medicare,
no revenues.
Yeah, Social Security and Medicare are large programs. I smell Willie Sutton, the famous bank robber. They asked him back in the 30s, why do you rob banks? And he says, because that's where the money is. I think that's what Paul Ryan's going to do.
Well, remember, Social Security, with the exception of the Obama tax holiday, has never taken a penny of general fund money. So out of the $16+ trillion of debt the United States has, only about $400 million of it is due to Social Security, and that was just over the last 2 years because of that tax holiday where the money was borrowed and put into the Social Security Trust Fund. But other than that, not one penny of that $16 trillion is due to Social Security.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And yet Pete Peterson has spent hundreds of millions of dollars of his own money trying to convince people that we should hand this off to Wall Street. Isn't that really what this is all about?
I think there's there's an ideological agenda and then there's the greed agenda. Sure, Wall Street, just think if you could manage the retirement accounts of all Americans and just, charge that monthly fee. Now, if you look at how much that would degrade people's Social Security benefits, let alone if they gambled and lost it. But, I mean, beyond that, just what that little fee, you see the numbers add up tremendously over time, those little monthly fees.
Oh, yeah. The average person at retirement with a 401k, and 401ks have only been around 30 some odd years. The average person at retirement with a 401k has already spent more than $100,000 in fees. It's mind-boggling. Congressman Peter DeFazio, the website defazio.house.gov. Great talking with you, Congressman. Thank you.
Okay, have me back.
I will. Thanks for dropping by. Great talking with you. We'll be back.